Hello everyone and welcome back to Planet Zoo. We are continuing our Woodlands build. We are starting with Arctic foxes today. And so we're starting off by modifying this building that you can see the red foxes in. And like I said last time, I wanted to make it so that you could see the Arctic foxes as well. I will say there is a little gap in there that you may or may not have caught on. That recording had stopped, and then I realized like it stopped, so I had to start it again. So it wasn't too much. It was just raising the floor up, putting the pathing underneath, and then putting the floor down, and adding a restroom into the building. And then trying to figure out what to do with the extra space, right? Like, I knew I didn't want it to be like a serious vending building or like a huge amount of like vendors or vending machines or anything. I wanted something simple, right? So I ended up putting a couple of vending machines. There was, the Street Fox coffee, so I was like, perfect. It can be like a coffee area, lean into the fox thing. And I think I added like the water vending machine because you can't just have coffee. Like, I personally don't like coffee, so I couldn't just do coffee. And then trying to figure out how I wanted the pathing to go. Because like I said, I had no plan. There was no plan. This is me completely 100% winging it as I go and just trying to be like, what is going to work and not look completely and utterly ridiculous. Like, that's the plan at this point, right? Is what is not going to look ridiculous. And I did realize like the Arctic fox shelter was much smaller than the red fox one, which is fine. I just ended up making the exhibit a little bit bigger as well, moving the posts and stuff. And initially I had started with the null barriers thinking I was going to end up with a lot more landscaping with the rocks and stuff, and then it quickly turned into no, probably not going to utilize that, just because of where it is and how I ended up with the pathing around it. Probably not a great idea. So then I did end up putting the flat glass roof in just to add some natural lighting into the building itself. And I had messed with the roof, so I wanted to go through and add that finishing wall again, and that was a pain. There was a reason I had done it prior to the roof going on and like the building being done. The Arctic fox side was a little easier because of where I could stick my viewpoint, but like it was just ridiculous. And then obviously they're Arctic foxes, so they needed a little bit of a cooler. I have made Arctic foxes in the past, and I knew like snow, right? Like they don't want grass. Like there's almost no grass involved. And then I had looped the staff path around again, so like there should be no complaints from the staff in terms of movement. I will end up with staff complaints later, but that's a different and there just already was a ton of foot traffic here, which makes me a little nervous. Was not expecting that much foot traffic that quickly. I was really hoping they'd spread themselves out a bit more, but that one little corner is huge. So then we go through again and add some rocks. And as I'm adding all of this rocks and terrain and stuff around the outside, I'm noticing like there's nothing in the actual habitat itself. Because they don't need a whole lot, so I do end up adding like just this little pile of like icy snowy rocks into the middle, and you can see it's in the back there. Yeah, just a couple of rocks in the enclosure itself. I was like, oh, this is really bare and empty. So that's where we are at right now, is we have our Arctic foxes and our red foxes, and I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.